Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to Ireland Live for Tuesday, the 4th of February, 2025. This is just a pop-up show. We just said we come up with a few things to talk about. So, myself and Anthony, I'm going to bring Anthony up there now. Hello, Anthony. How are you, mate?
Well, how you doing, Paul? Good to see you back.
I'm good. Yeah, we said, hey, we'll
Back from
do
the
this
Irish.
tonight, even for an hour, just to get the word out
Yeah,
if we can.
there's too much going on in a week, isn't there, to keep up?
There
I know I
is.
missed last Sundays.
Yeah, well, you were busy Sunday or whatever, but I know it wasn't a bad show Sunday night. We had a good feel. Like hiya guys, how's things? Europa, whatever. I don't know what the name was. Let's see what that name was again.
Europa, the pirate
Europa,
twin
the
tree.
Pirate Twin Tree. There's a name for you. Well, how are
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Good. Yeah, good.
That's not an Irish surname, is it?
No, definitely not. Well, it could be one of the new to the parish. Yeah, you'd never know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll find out.
Speaking of new to the parish, Jesus Christ, man, it's gone ridiculous, hasn't it? Over the last couple of weeks, like really has.
It's you know what? There's a lot of people very disheartened the last few weeks there because I think they're starting to see everyone around them. Like dropping my kid into jiu-jitsu today, just looking at the people walking by. I think I've seen a few people saying the same. Where they're much more wary. I'm close to Carlow Town, so and we have a video about Carlow Town and what's going on there. Is the place is getting destroyed, like every town. Anyway, you know.
Every town,
Oh,
yeah. Hiya guys, hold on, sorry, yeah. It's based on a song by Thomas Dolby. Thomas Dolby, yeah, okay, yeah. Hiya lads, hiya Europe. How are you, Jane? Though, but I just want to run with something here first. I just want to share the screen. You can have a look at it there with me. The entire screen, boom. You can see it there. Moyvalley, incoming owner of Moyvalley Hotel and Golf Resorts, confirmed plans to accommodate international protection applicants in apartments. Protesters at Moyvalley, County Kildare, have told Grip that families have been and are being evicted from the apartments at the complex, which has now been taken over by a new multi-millionaire owner who plans to use it to accommodate asylum seekers. Sorry, shit, my bad. I meant to go backwards. This is it here, City Corp Apartments. This is the guy, and this is the guy who owns it. Looks Irish, doesn't he?
mm,
He looks Irish. But this is it now.
yes,
Declaration. The Kildare County Council. This is the declaration of, as indicated, the plans. Whereas Kawachi Sandy requested a declaration on the said question for Kildare County Council. Planning development as amended. See, these are all part of the amendment. You know what I mean? It's coming through the amendment. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. No, it is. Paul, just someone saying your mic is crackling. I thought it might have been my mics. It actually, even you just plug it out, plug it back in real quick. Sometimes it fixes
Yeah.
it.
Hang on.
Yeah, I can see there. Carlo was in trouble. 100% it is. Moyvalley. There was a protest last Saturday, and there was a protest this Saturday also at 12 o'clock. If people wanted to get up there and show their support again, they should. There's our fella, the owner with the year-round tan. Your mic is still down, Paul. Maybe you're on mute. This is Paul's first time doing a show, guys. You must have to bear with us.
I am. I was on mute. Yeah. Is it back up? Is it all right there now?
It's better there, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Cool. This fella's name is Kawajit Sandhu.
Mm,
What a guy, I tell you.
yeah.
But that's it. City
Quite
Corp
Sunday.
Apartments Limited was set up on Thursday the 9th. It was only set up on the 19th of December last year, not even 2 months ago. Their current partial address is Kildare, and the company status is normal. The company's current directors have been the directors of 5 other Irish companies between them. So, yeah. Let me just stop
Yeah,
sharing that.
more cartels, huh? More lads. And you know what? We were looking up something about 60% of these iPass owners are foreign entities. It's amazing, isn't it? Like like there's 40% of our own traders, but there is 60% of these that are foreign entities, and they're being told. Like maybe we'll jump into the Carlo one, will we? Talking about traders and syndicates and stuff like that.
Yeah, why not? Hang on, if I got it there, let me just see if I got it. Did I pull it down? Hang on. The
Yeah, it's
Carlo
there, the last
Cartel.
one. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, we'll run with this. We'll come back and talk to it
let
in a
them have
minute.
it.
Yeah.
the people of Carlow and the surrounding counties of Wicklow, Kilkenny and Kildare. Meet the cartel who are filling your towns and villages with undocumented men, who are unvetted, who are carrying a whole raft of dangerous diseases like AIDS, TB, leprosy, possibly even Ebola. First on the cartel list is Mr. Joseph Germain from Baltinglass. He is one of the bigger players in the human traffic of scene in Ireland and has been actively using the trafficking system for the last 20 to 25 years. A check on solocheck.ie reveals that he has a directorship/ownership role in 10 companies, along with family members. Amongst his properties are the bar and restaurant Germain's on the main street in Baltinglass, the Air Powell Hotel in Newbridge, which has been used as an accommodation centre for the past 20 years and has proven to be among the top earners in the country. It has been a hugely lucrative racket for Mr. Joe Germain since 2004 up to 2024 from just his various trafficking operations. He has taken 37 million euros from the state. Mr. Germain is an unscrupulous operator who will destroy a 100-year-old building in the chase of profits. Indeed, that is what he did in 2016 at the site of the old Chesty Murray's sweet shop on one of the main streets in Cardiff, which landed him in court and which he had to put right with rebuilding, thanks to the efforts of locals who would not let him have his own way. Amongst all his properties, he owns Skaggs Alley Pub in Carlow, the Gables Guest House in Newbridge, to name but a few. And his most recent acquisition, the site of the former Tuffers restaurant, Carlow. As you can see, it is fully kitted out with modular units, and the perception is that it will soon become home to 1,000 migrant men, without any public consultation, or indeed any care given for the safety and well-being of the locals in the area. Next up on the cartel list is Mr. Patrick Murphy, with an address in Carlow. He is the owner, shareholder of 5 companies. The one that interests us is called Knocknagy Limited, but we will come back to that later. The site will be maintained and managed by a company called Murphy Facility Services Limited, which we assume will be contracted to keep the site clean and maintained. We have received reports that Mr. Murphy in particular likes to be more hands-on and has been witnessed issuing threats to people who dare to speak out and call him out on this. Now, remember Knocknagy Limited? Well, their current address is Germain's, Main Street, Baltinglass, Wicklow, and it has 2 directors, Joseph Germain and Patrick Murphy. These 2 individuals are the ones responsible for Tuffers, and all the other people who are associated with them through the various other companies and directorships are also responsible. These people are destroying all our local towns and villages with this racket, and this is not a short-term problem. This will have consequences for the children and future generations of these areas. They are being changed from the quiet and peaceful areas that we know to what will be ghettos in future years to come, long after the profiteers have moved on to somewhere new. These people need to be held to account and to be named and shamed because they are selling out Ireland and they've sold their souls for profits and wealth. Shinny Nadina want to work with and help communities by reporting what is happening and getting the info out there, by being on the ground at these sites and to help people who are standing up to this racket. We are the people for the people, so please reach out to us. www.shininadina.ie.
Wow. Jesus Christ, that's some... They're like glamping things or something there. Eddie, like them modular homes. Do you have the roundy ones there as well?
They do. They have 2 types of them, and they have the restaurant as well that they're using. At the moment, it's empty. The Ukrainians have been known to be ringing around all the people in Carlow looking for places. Carlow being a university town as well, where students can't get accommodation. Yeah. So now they're going to be on the housing list. They're going to be everywhere in all the... They're already in the B&Bs everywhere. But
Jesus Christ.
It's just... Yeah, they reckon up to 1,000 could go in there. Like while they were getting rid of the Ukrainians, they're bringing in more modular homes. We put a message out to the council. Will you be filling this with iPass? And we put it online on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok or X, and they never came back. We sent them an email. They know well. All these, like it's no, like I spoke about that voter fraud in our elections. Like this was too much money for them not to allow their TDs, their sitting TDs, to let this happen. You know what? Well, if one of us got in, it's the reason why none of us did. We would have been shouting it from the rooftops. Hold on a second. They're going in here. We know.
They would have having to give us airtime as well because we would have been a TD. So they couldn't have blocked us off the television. That's it. Even if we'd be... Look, I don't know how Gavin hasn't got any airtime because he's a councillor. You know what I mean? You're supposed to get some sort of airtime. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is your dad in?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. He's in.
Yeah.
How are you, Pat? How's things? Well, lads, hope you're well. Carrick Macross is Little Romania, full of Roma benefit tourists and places filled for cash. Listen, Romans... I used to give out about Brian Garrick and giving out about them like during his campaign. That's all Brian spoke about was, do you remember Brian, Irish Lives Matter? The big grey-headed fella. He was giving out about them like fuck, like, you know what I mean? And I used to, you need to lay off them, you need to lay off them. And listen, man, they have the place ruined. You go into town, it's ruined. Housing estates around here where I am is full of them in 4 and 5 bedroom houses. Not one of them is working. You know what I mean? They're wearing the best of gear. They're driving the best of cars. Sure, it's no wonder they can't do that. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I was down collecting my social welfare in the post office the other day, right? And a Roma guy, I'd say he was in his 30s, if he was even in his 30s, €925. That is what he collected. I was standing behind him, and I seen her counting it out. Jesus Christ, man! You know, 925 a week. Sure, there's taxi drivers. Like, see, this is what gets me. This is how they can drive around.
That's the equivalent of like
cars. $4,000 a month.
You're getting that cash in hand. That's the equivalent
tax
of
free.
80 grand a fucking year, or 75. You know,
exactly.
That's
925. You're talking 3.6, 3.7 a month. You know, come on, and you're not paying tax on it. You're paying nothing on it. You're getting your house off HAP or whatever else, and listen, we were told as well, I was told last week that they're getting 200 quid a week vouchers in Lidl's and Aldi. That's what they're getting. Now, I'm waiting to get one of these because I know someone who works in Aldi, and they said that they would get me one of these cards because what they do is they throw them away and they just get a new one. You know what I mean? They get a new one. It's not topped up. They give them a new one.
Is that real?
Yeah. Yes.
Not paying tax, not paying insurance. Like medical cards, we're the fucking Egypts out there fucking with Ireland for all. You know, it's like,
I can't even get a medical card. I can't get a doctor.
No, I don't even have a GP. But like, people are out there screaming Ireland for all and diversity. Their kids have to leave the country because they're sleeping on their couches. Idiots, like, you know, you get tired of it sometimes. Yeah. Like, this is why, right? We announced the other day. It only came out on Friday that I'm launching a political party, and you knew about this, Paul. You're involved with it.
Yeah.
One thing it will be, and I remember I spoke about writing the Homemakers Bill during the campaign.
That was a great bill.
That bill has to be made sure that it's only going to be for Indigenous Irish people by way of a grandfather rule or whatever way we do it. But these won't be leeching off, you know, the rules that we have. And, you know, it won't be an Irish citizen. You gain citizenship, you're allowed for this. Party and policy have to only be geared towards the real Irish. That's the way it has to be at this stage. The people who are left behind, you know, we need to be much more serious about this and watching out for the loopholes.
Well, this is it. Like, but now, I'm going to break this down again for you here. Okay, we said 975. Okay, now if he's getting 975, okay, that means he must have about 6 or 7 kids. Okay. And then the children's allowance then on top of that every month would be about 14 or 1,500 quid.
Yeah,
so they get
100%. Like
$6,000 a month.
Sure, every kid they bring, you know. Look, I don't know. Then what's happening
is, Anthony, my mate lives in an estate around the corner, and there's about 6 of them have houses around there. Okay, but what happens is the kids grow up. Now, I've seen it myself here in my estate. The kids grow up, 18, 19, 20. They start having kids themselves. And then they have 6 or 7 kids by the time they're 24, 25.
Yeah.
Come on. You know what I mean? Like, who's the fucking Egypts here? Like, you know what I mean? We're the fucking Egypts here. You know what I mean? It's...
Sure, I seen them, Paul. You know, I was only behind them Friday. Before I went west, I was driving through Carlow Town and Beamer in front of me, a new Beamer in front of me, like maybe 2 years old, Ukrainian reg, pull into the right. You know, they're sitting there not working, chilled out. They're there a couple of years at this stage, getting served their meals with their cars with no tax or insurance. Like,
It just does
It's
my
a
fucking
joke.
head in.
It's
I'm
crazy.
telling you,
Is
it does
crazy.
my head in. My dad keeps telling me not to be coursing on the show, but listen, it just boils my blood. It really does. Like, you know what I mean? It's horrendous, like what's going on. But it's not only them. You know what I mean? There's others coming in here and doing it, and then you have, like, I think we had a girl last year contact me. I don't know whether you were here or not. A girl contacted me. She was an electrician working in a state in, oh Jesus, where was it? It could have been Roscommon or somewhere like that. But this was a big 4-bedroom house, okay? And she had got another 2 houses to do. That this guy had 3 wives and all the kids, and they were living in 3 houses in the one estate. 3 houses in the one estate, and these were big houses, 4-bedroom houses, like, you know. Come on, come on, like, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Let's read one of these. I'll be on a meeting on Thursday because they want to build houses on a park beside my mum's house. TD's left us high and dry for a year, and I don't know what I can do now. I'll see what is said. Hey, well, contact us, and if we can help you out in any way, let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
Contact
Let us know where it is.
Contact the show.
Yeah,
let
is
us
it
know
a public
where,
meeting?
Yeah, if you want, and we can try and arrange to have someone go down, even to just to have a chat. You know what I mean, and see what's going on. You know,
or even get the camera out or do something.
Exactly, do a couple of interviews. You know. Good evening from Manchester, UK. Hello, Manchester, UK. I hope you're a Liverpool supporter, are you? Jerry, haven't seen you in a long time. Okay, lads, like let's not be chatting here, lads. You know what I mean? Like this is our show.
Is Christy Moore left? Christy Moore is a lefty. I was in Doolin the weekend. There's photos of Christy Moore up on the wall and all that, and I can't. He turned to a big lefty during the whole kickoff there a few years ago, didn't he?
Listen, once he done that concert, and listen, Christy's a scumbag. I'm being honest with you. Yeah, he's a turncoat. He turned his back on the people.
And he's singing songs about
the rainbow
Ireland.
Cult, you know?
Yeah, singing songs about the Irish and their culture for years. And, I don't know.
Yeah,
literally Ireland.
Good evening, all. How are you, Pa?
Yeah.
Watching you in Belfast. Fair play, lads. Keep it going there. We're flying there now. We're up to 400 there already. So, lovely. This is going good.
Yep.
The truth in the rumour that the traffic and gravy train Democrat funding is being stalled by Trump. Yeah, I've seen all that. Look at this. Yeah, Zelensky has 1 billion that went missing. Where has that gone?
100 billion.
100 billion that he can't account for.
It's like I do sharing this stuff online because sometimes I left it for a good while on my personal page. But like all these people, it's a sad day now, Trump's after getting in, the world won't be the same. You see RFK there, and he's calling out all the corruption in Big Pharma and how everyone in the jury and all is complicit and to taking money to them and all, like, and they pardon themselves before they go out of it, like, and I keep putting up. You think these are the good guys pardoning themselves, and you still think so, There's no amount of evidence will convince some people,
Yeah, exactly. But not even pardoning themselves for a crime, for something that they might have done between 2010 and 2014. Come on, lads. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
RFK's doing good stuff, though.
He's doing brilliant stuff, yeah. And I tell you, we'll have to do more stuff about the vaccines and all that, because I'm going to start getting back on the vaccine trail here now, because we did let it slide and I'll tell you the reason why it was let slide was because we were told not to speak about it on the show because we were part of the party, if you remember rightly. And then all of a sudden we got Dr. Jerry Waters on board and we could talk about anything you wanted then, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Look, there's a bit of star power then and the whole dynamic changed.
What's this? Due to last-minute delays and cancellations, it's becoming ever more difficult to get home to Ireland from the UK, despite closing the Holyhead port by Welsh Labour. Well, you'll find it even harder to get home now at the end of the month because there's a big protest for Rosslare Harbour. So if you're coming in, come in before the 20th, mate. I'll just give you a bit of advice there. Come in before the 20th. The welfare system is a cancer on society. It is. Pray for my friends.
Do Do you want to go with your video for the Rosslare thing? I think there's so many comments coming in. You're going to be a hard time
Yeah,
catching
I
up
know.
with them.
I'm going to just play this, the Rosslare video, okay? Just to put it out. We'll put it out again before the end, just to let people know what's going on and when it's happening. So, boom.
The Irish people are under siege by a reckless government that has abandoned its duty to protect our nation. Rosslare Europort has become a gateway for illegal immigration, facilitated by state inaction and policies that prioritise outsiders over the rightful sons and daughters of Ireland. The time for silence is over. Now is the time for action. Recently, 9 illegal immigrants were discovered hiding in a container at Rosslare. Were they deported immediately? No. Instead, they were processed and absorbed into a broken asylum system with no accountability or guarantee of removal. This is just one example of how our borders are wide open to those who enter unlawfully, aided by a government that refuses to enforce immigration law. Beyond illegal migration, the consequences of uncontrolled mass immigration, both legal and illegal, are measured in Irish lives lost. Countless people across Ireland have been murdered by individuals who should never have been here in the first place. From the tragic loss of Aisling Murphy to the horror of the Parnell Square attack and the recent murder of a child in New Ross, the Irish people are paying the price for a system that disregards their safety. This protest at Rosslare Europort is not just a demonstration, it's a stand for national survival. We demand immediate border security, deportation of all illegal migrants, and an end to the state's betrayal of its own people. Ireland belongs to the Irish, and we will not surrender our homeland without a fight. For our nation, for our fallen, for our future.
Yeah, 22nd of the month, Rosslare Harbour, 2 o'clock. So if you can get down there, people, please get down there. I can guarantee you that the trains and all will stop running that day to try and stop it. But listen, I can't see it being stopped. I'd say we'll get a good crowd there now.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. And we were saying as well about Moyvalley. There will be people there in Moyvalley at 12 o'clock on this Saturday as well. I think they were there last week. And we were talking a little bit about, I think, Knock as well. I think they're calling out for another bit of a stance up there, that they've got word that there is up to, I know John Malloy said 500 to 700 men going in. I also heard 900 over the weekend. You see did you hear that? It could be up to 900. And Shannon Airport, 4 72-seater buses arrived at 2 in the morning, Saturday morning, and no one knows where they went to. There's modular homes going around. You see the videos of modular homes going around at 2 or 3 in the morning. Seen them last night. Begging. Like, but it's all in the dark of night, you know.
Let's be honest, Anthony. Knock Airport is right next to Knock Shrine. They don't need to be bussing them in from anywhere. They just bring them into Knock Airport and bring them around the corner. That's all they need to do. And my mate said this to me a couple of weeks ago. That's really convenient for them, isn't it? That they have an airport right on the doorstep of Knock, you know what I mean? So they can bring these people in, you know what I mean? And bus them anywhere they want.
It's really telling, though, you know, they're moving modular homes at 2 in the morning. Like, what company works them hours? They're clearly, like, I went down to Clonmel site last week, and the cameras are covering every angle. They have 8 sentries posted on 12-hour shifts at every corner of the place. The lads they said if you throw a drone up there, they have a guy there behind there, has a high-powered drone, he'll knock it out of the sky and take it. Like, it's a military base. That's the only way of saying it. And the guards roll up and down the road every 10 minutes. The guards paid just to circle the place. All complicit. Crazy stuff. You'd have to see it to believe it, you know. Did you here? You know what? I'll play John Malloy's call out to Knock, will I?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Hi everyone, how are you doing? Just a quick update here. I just got word in a few minutes ago from Knock on the Belmont, and that works up again to progress again in the Belmont in Knock in County Mayo. Drumhouse, as we already know, is ready to run and ready to take in the unvetted males that are coming in. That means there's 2 I-passes coming into Knock. So on the 16th of this month, which is I think Sunday week, we're all congregating at the plaza in Knock at 1 p.m. We have to show solidarity to the people in Knock, and I'm asking each and every one of you out there, Christian and otherwise, to come to Knock, to save the shrine. We cannot allow up to 5, maybe 700 individual single males, unvetted, coming into Knock. These will be all Muslim men into a Christian area and into a Christian country. If this is allowed to happen, well, we can just say goodbye to everything. So I'm asking each and every one of you, please share this out there in your WhatsApp groups, whatever, wherever. I don't mind who you are, what you are, or otherwise. Community groups, say no groups and everything. Let's all get together. Let's all just, for once, get together. Forget about differences and everything else. We need to save Knock. We need to save our shrine. It's very important to the people of Ireland, very important to the people of Knock. So please like and share this. That's Sunday the 16th at 1 p.m. Now, this will be a walk of solidarity with them, and they've asked directly if we would like candles for them. Now that's the prayer group up there. So as they're inviting us into their town, even though we're supporting them, we got to do as they say, which I think is a lovely idea, to be very honest with you. But we just got to highlight this. We've got to bring it out there to the general public. Thank you. I really appreciate this. You're a sound bunch.
Fair play to John there, but like, I'm going to throw it out here. I'm sorry, but I have to do it, like, you know what I mean?
Your mic's
The people in
cracking
Knock.
there again really badly.
Can you hear me now?
Still the same. It's just crackling the bits. Maybe just unplug them back in again real quick. It is just while you're doing that about Knock.
Is that any better?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
Is that any better? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, what I was saying there, Anthony, was the people of Knock need to come out and help us. Like, we're going down there to help them. Like, and if you're not going to help yourself, what's the point? You know what I mean? Like we spoke to shopkeepers, you spoke to shopkeepers, and people are sick of it and the whole lot, but they're afraid to come out for risk of being called an ist or an ism or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
At
the end of the day, this is your town. Go on.
Yeah, there's two sides to it. Like, when we went there as if we were protesting in Athlone or in Dublin City, where we kind of had our back to the road and we were doing our speeches among ourselves. Like, if you were a passerby, it would have been you would have been intimidated enough to, even if you agreed or tried to find out what was going on. You know, it had Athlone says no, it had all these different banners from different towns. We marched and said, whose streets are streets down the road? I think for the likes of Knock, and I spoke to John Malloy about this a few weeks ago, maybe we should have took a different approach to it, so that we weren't so, who are these coming here? Because they didn't know what we were saying. We were talking among ourselves in a circle. So I like that John has taken that, and now it's going to be lighting candles and things like that. Look, if prayer groups got involved, it would cause a lot more coverage to it, and maybe a few more people internationally would get involved.
Hold on. At this stage, I really believe in the support military dictatorship from our side, not from the globalists. Our military are a waste of fucking space. Will you get a grip, look? You know what I mean? No, I'm sorry. It's the military aren't coming. There's nobody coming in here on a white horse to help any of us here. Trump might do something about the LGBT shit and the wokeism and all that shit, but nobody's riding in here to save all of us. You know that, and I know that. You know what I mean? The Mayo crowd are totally different up there. A new approach. Yeah, I think so, Letitia. I think you're right. We need to do that. You know, this lack of our streets, whose streets, your streets, Leo, you wanker, and all this. People are just hearing us shouting, Anthony. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
that's it. Like, and it can cause fear to. Look, I was there. I appreciate everyone who was there, and fair play.
Of course, no, I'm not knocking anyone.
No, not pun intended, huh? But it's meant to be. it's meant to be a thing where look, this one might need a different approach. That's all. Like, we stuck around for a while afterwards. I am messaging a couple of prayer groups and stuff myself there. Look, the RT propaganda has worked as well, and let's be honest about it. They're afraid of. Some of them are afraid of us. and us, but they're afraid of their own who are calling this stuff out. So if we went there, lit candles, didn't have our own microphones, we don't need any more of our own speeches. We know why we're there. We can talk about that before we get there. We're just there to take a back seat to the locals and to the prayer groups and say, look, we'll walk with you and we'll take a few photographs and share it or whatever. But yeah, it'll be not missed out on International Christian Day to mark St. Bridget's Day in the 1st February. Great crowd in Derry. I was told as prayer groups there told that they can't go to Knocktown anymore. They're being offered places in neighbouring villages.
Yeah, I heard that myself.
But Muslim prayer groups are now put front and centre for the prayer rooms in Knock. That is true. Crazy Irish times.
Paul, did you give what the Libertarian sent you? I was looking at that. I only browsed through it myself there, Jayden. That was the policies and the constitution thing you sent me on there. I just browsed through it. I'll have to have a look in more detail. I'll send it on to Anthony too and let Anthony have a look at it too. Yeah. What have we got here? Convince Trump to give us military support. Listen, I can't see any. As I said, there's nobody coming in here.
How do you organise that? I don't know. There's so many places now and B&Bs and...
The migration issue was being pumped into the people at Mass on Sundays. A double-sided A4 telling the people they have to accept migrants. Well, we heard that the priests are being told that they have to show compassion. Is that what it is, Anthony?
Yeah, they have to be welcoming and charitable and show compassion. Like the Catholic Church, we spoke about this. I spoke about it on my interview in Knock. They're complicit to this. You know, and I'd say that I'm a Christian, but I am... Like unfortunately, the Pope is giving them orders from the Vatican. They are selling these buildings out to this, and they're encouraging something called Chrislam, which is this one world religion of a mix mash. Really, it's going to be Islam. It's a silly way for people who believe in the propaganda narrative to welcome them in, and before it's too late. I seen the European Conservative released 70% of violent crime and rape is now by illegal immigrants in Europe. 77%.
Did you see today another shooting? A shooting in a school in Sweden. There's 11 dead.
I seen a comment on it there.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about it. No.
Yeah, I seen it there. There was a couple of videos there, but they're a bit sketchy. The videos, you don't see too much in, and I don't want to be throwing stuff up that we haven't got verified. You know, so. Yeah, it's 11 apparently that were shot and killed. So, and I think they took him out alive. I'm going to be honest with you, man. If I was a copper and this is just me, and someone was at the shooting 11 kids, I wouldn't give a shit. I'd just let him have it. You know what I mean? I saw an interview last night of that he's a chief of police in one of the counties in America, and your man interviewed him on the thing, and he says. He was shot. This guy was shot 63 times, he says. He said, how can you justify that? He said, I'll be honest with you. He said he'd been shot a lot more. He said only for the lads had to reload. That's what that was his words, right? It seems he turned around and he says he shot the dog, he shot the dog handler, and he also shot another officer. He said, so as soon as he lifted the officer's gun and pointed it at the SWAT team, what were you expecting? He said, the 16 SWAT team members there all focused on him. 63 times they shot him, and rightly so. Fuck him. You know what I mean? If you want, you can text us there on 089 203 1521, and we'll see what we can do. We'll have a chat. But Jesus, these comments are flying in tonight.
Yeah, I don't think I want to keep up with them.
How can you make a new religion? Yeah. What were you saying?
No, I just Orla's at the message me there with the advertisement of people. They're looking for security guards for the new iPass centre now for Towhurst in Carlow. So they obviously are really quickly going to ramp up. Someone's asked me there, Anta, I would love to hear your thoughts on my question. I did see this question pop by, so I'll address it. It said, Ireland need to run as a nationalist party in our Irish Republic It upholds a British Parliament, British courts, British prison, a thought-provoking question. Like, the only problem is with all this, and a lot of people do bang on about this kind of stuff, what else do you do? You're in their system. You know, you can see other countries like Germany and Hungary pushing back if they formulate good people that have expertise who are wide awake to these things. That's all we can do. We can't go, like, what am I, if I stand in the courts or in the Dáil and say, sorry, actually this is formed under British rule and all that, they won't care. Of course they don't care. You see all these injunctions in Athlone and Clonmel and all these places, and they're saying, yeah, they're passed through the courts, and they're still going ahead. The government are completely complicit. So what do you expect anyone to do? They're attacking us on all fronts. So we need to be prepared on all fronts to push back. That's all you can do.
That's all. You can't
go in and say, sorry guys, you know, yeah, your mic again there, Paul, just to let you know. You might have to do the
Is it gone again? I don't know what the bleeding hell is going on.
It's better there now. Don't know if it was bad.
Yeah. Just looking here, Irish Prison Service spent over 100,000 in 3 years maintaining empty super prison site. This is Thornton Hall. Bills for the site continue to mount, with the Irish Prison Service spending around 40 grand a year on its upkeep. And now, here we are, you know. It's ridiculous, isn't it? And they're letting people out of prisons now, you know what I mean? They're letting child molesters and rapists and all out of prison to make rooms for the likes of us who are speaking up for the country, you know?
Yeah, I did see a petition going around about Judge Nolan again. Yeah, I don't know. What do you do about Judge Nolan? Like, again, you see, the change.ie is owned by Bill Gates as well. And if you speak out with anything, as we know, Paul, the ISD did a hit piece on me, Paul, and the Irish Column, the other show we do every Sunday night at 9 o'clock, because that's how clued in they are. You know, the globalists are saying, right, who's speaking out in this country? Right, boom, let's do something on them. Like, yeah, like...
Exactly.
It's scary to think that the paedophilia that goes on in the elitist circles. Yeah.
Well, you look at O'Gorman. You look at Roderick O'Gorman. He's friends with Peter Tatchell. You know, come on, like, you know what I mean? Like, he's in pictures with Peter Tatchell. So are Fine Gael ministers and Fine Gael whatever. You know what I mean? They're all friends. They're all in pictures with Peter Tatchell. Peter Tatchell wants to lower the age of consent to 9. What sort of a sick bastard is he? You know what I mean? Somebody just posted there now, sorry, in regard to the shooting in Orabo, 10 dead, no kids, as it took place in an adult education centre. Okay, I didn't know that, so thanks for letting me know. Fair play to you. Yeah.
Yeah. What's this? Young people will soon become conservative and far right, in inverted commas. Yeah, I think the left are pushing people towards the middle and towards the what they call the right, which is conservatism. It's what everybody was 20 years ago, before all this madness.
Before woke came into it. Yeah.
Yeah, I seen this. I put up there's this 70-year-old woman, and she was talking about why people were standing out, and they were worried about these centres going up beside the churches, beside the schools. And I just put up not another far right thug, you know, just to push it back in their face who they're calling the far right. It's nonsense. But we've been down this road and up this road and across the road. Anyway, we what we really need as well, Paul, is what we're doing, but on a larger scale. You know, we need the radio station. You're on mute there, just so you know. The radio station. You need your your shows. You need. I listened to the radio today. I usually don't listen to the radio. I swapped it over. Oh, it was a disaster. They were talking about Trump and how, because it's getting so liberal, now it's a risk to kids getting on the internet and all that kind of thing. Like, the deep state and all, you know, Kamala and all these people, Biden, are the most heinous people that are complicit with all these, like, puberty blockers, paedophilia rings. They bribe the courts.
Look at the Diddy files. Look at the Diddy files. Like, as soon as they come out, they won't come out because there's too many people involved in it. There's way too many people involved in it.
This time last year, the Epstein list was supposed to drop. Remember that January last year?
Yeah. That's never going to drop. We've already seen the flight list. Like, Bill Gates has been on it. Like, 26 times Bill Clinton has been on it. Hillary Clinton's been on it. Tom Hanks has been on it. Will Smith has been on it. Like, come on. You know, There was a guy there. I was watching one of the Diddy things from, I think it's Jaguar Wright was talking to one of the guys, and he was saying on a film set he walked in to get Will Smith one day, and Will Smith was bent over getting rattled by another black guy from behind. One of the producers or something like that was like, come on, like, you know what I mean? For fuck's sake. Like, this is going on. This is happening, you know what I mean? And people are just, there's Justin Bieber, there's Liam Payne. There's no way Liam Payne fell off a fucking balcony. There's no way in a million years. He had 26 injuries on his back and his whatever. If you fall off a balcony, you're just going thump. That's it. You're not going to bounce off things on the way down. It's not as though we hit cliffs or anything like that on the way down. It was a 20 or 30 foot drop. Like, it's all bullshit. So, and you think people are stupid. The likes of us aren't stupid because we're looking at it. You know what I mean? We can see it happening. You know what I mean? It's yeah.
There's just some kind of cognitive dissonance that's going on where you can say it to people, you can say it a million times. We've done this for the last few years, and they still just don't get it. Like, the court cases are there for all the vaccines. You know, the court cases are there for all the X-Files. That, you know, even Zuckerberg's coming out and saying, yeah, they bribed me to censor proper doctors about vaccine injuries. But still, people still have I still see people trying to add me on Facebook, stay at home, I took my COVID-19 vaccine. It's like, wow, really?
Yeah, good luck to you. Listen, I'm living with someone who got 5 of them and they walk around with the badge on, you know, just to rub my fucking nose in it, you know. So,
but you know what though, Paul? You know what's interesting? A lot of people virtue signaled on Facebook that they got it and just got my COVID vaccine, all this kind of thing. But now that the news is coming out and the courts and the scandals and the injured people, you know, did they care about people at all? Because maybe they'd be banging that drum if they did. You know, maybe they'd be putting up, look, guys, get everyone to make sure they know not to take this anymore, that these were not, the millions have died because of this. And the doctors are coming out and saying it, and they're pulling out blood clots, and here's Fauci in court. And, you know, if it wasn't all virtue signaling, if they actually cared about people like they did by posting up things on Facebook, then maybe they should stand up and say, we were wrong here, guys, swallow a bit of pride, because at this stage in the game, it's important to address reality and actually, you know, have a bit of safeguarding towards your fellow people.
I have Eric down here on the bottom there. I'm going to just bring him in there for a minute. Hello, Eric. How are you?
All good, Paul. How are you? And how are you, Anthony, man?
I'm good. Oh, yeah. You know, Eric.
How Eric? How's it going?
I have no camera at the minute to give me a live picture, but
that's no. So we know how good looking you are.
Yeah. Don't we all, Paul? That's the Irish team, man.
How's things? We were just bigging up. Rosslare. So, yeah. Do you want to say something about it, or?
Yeah, well, it's more so after Rosslare and what's around it is what interests me. So, like, we need boots on the ground. We need to start making impacts, and we need to start putting pressure on the entry points coming into our country. We see it recently with Rosslare with 9 illegal immigrants found in a container. So
yeah,
everyone thinks we're just talking about illegal immigrants. We're targeting Rosslare for a protest because of illegal immigrants, because of the lackadaisical policies that are in effect. No, they're not actually in effect. There's no security on the borders. We have a facility down in Rosslare Port that's a border control point. I think it cost about 166 million in 2023. You can imagine how many illegal immigrants are coming through that point every day. So
there was a container recently, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was 9.
If you take into the numbers of actual freight that's coming through that port at any given stage.
Your sound isn't great.
So all good now?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
So like the percentage of freight that's coming through Rosslare Port is astronomical, and particularly on a weekend, on a Saturday. So last year, I think they broke a record here in Ireland. It went up to about 72% of traffic going through there was purely freight. You know, that's major. And on those freight, you can imagine that there's illegal immigrants, but you can also imagine that there's tons of drugs that's coming through there. So we're making a stand. We're making a stand down there to highlight that the whole eastern side of this country is vulnerable, not just to illegal immigrants, but to drugs, to anything that's coming across our borders. And our government don't care.
You're right there, Eric, because the cocaine that's been in this country like over the last few years has gone through the roof. And you'd wonder, is that all part of it as well? Like, as well, they could put anything into that or lace it with anything. If you truly believed that, that what they're doing in the vaccines and the food, what they're adding into the milk and all, sure, they know every second young lad is going to the bathroom every Saturday night to do a few lines of that because they've made it
It's rampant.
normalised. But it's obviously
a
coming in
moneymaker.
through the ports, and it's coming in through the
It's a
ports.
moneymaker.
Yeah.
It's a moneymaker. Like you take into account that the fisheries in Ireland has caused serious damage because of the EU. And how are these lads subsiding that? Some of them are selling their vessels. They're selling them to cartel members that are bringing drugs in. And most often than not, when these drugs are caught at sea or whatever else, as you can see in the news, it's Albanians, it's Ukrainians, it's Eritreans that are doing the smuggling. So the direct consequence is that we're inviting more and more of these lads into Ireland. And at the same time, we have the likes of Nicola Tallant and that talking on the Sunday World or whatever, that Ireland is a hub for drugs. It's not just now that it's consumed here, that we're a distribution centre. Absolutely we are, because now we have international criminals working here, not just Irish ones. So the bigger threat is the Albanians, the Eritreans, even the Jamaicans. I mean, back in 2001, we had the triads up in the north of Ireland. I mean, these things don't go away, and it's all leading back to the way the country is run, the security, particularly on the borders. They keep on making the excuses about the Navy. We don't have the vessels. We don't have the vessels because they didn't put them in operation. They took them out because this is a bigger money maker. The black market is the biggest money maker in the world through human trafficking, drug trafficking, or any traffic you can put through it. And the Irish government and the corrupt politicians, businessmen, and the authority here, they all have that finger in the pie, without a doubt. Every one of them.
Yeah, that's the thing, Eric. Like, a lot of people, and even myself up until 5 or 6 years ago, probably didn't believe, probably a bit naive to how corrupt our governments really were, and our health, and our whole big pharma system, our whole food industry, our governments, even the guards. Like, you see, how often do you see the whole thing with the guards taking cocaine from evidence lockers and all this kind of thing? We've seen that a few times in the last year alone. Like, obviously blind eyes are being turned, and I just said it earlier about going to Clonmel and seeing the guards rolling up and down the road, keeping an eye and on people, and they're completely complicit in all of this. Scary when you're really awake to it all, and you're looking out, you're walking out on a daily basis around your local town, looking at your local iPass centre. The amount of people that are supposed to be looking out for your needs, they're on the radio every day talking about your needs, they're protecting your streets, are actually destroying you and your family's life.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you see, sorry, Paul, but even just think about the likes of people before profit or whatever else. They're very strong to come out and condemn people like us, but they don't see a problem at Rosslare Port. They don't see a problem with 9 people being in a container for however long coming across the channel anyway, which already shows you that they don't have a humanity side to them, because they don't really care about the safety of those people on that travel, because they tell them not to travel if they did. Right. Secondly to that, they'll go down outside Shannon Airport and they'll protest against the American military using Shannon as a stop-off. But you won't see him. You won't see him like you see Fergus Power or the lads out in the past couple of days, actually with Irish people helping him. You will not see that. You won't see him going and knocking at someone's door, offering the helping hand. That's not the way they work. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to change that. Rosslare Port is the beginning of it, but realistically, what we want is we want people to come together. We don't want this thing of one man show or anything. That if we're doing anything in the country, that we do it as a national movement together, where everyone has an input into it. We can move forward as a unit, and we can actually make an impact into what we're doing.
Yeah. Well,
that's
exactly the way.
I think.
Go on, sorry, Anthony. Go on.
No, I was just saying that's the way you can hear a lot of the group think is going now. That's the same way Sinn Féin was meant to be. That there's no leader to this. There's no speeches. There's no one man leading the charge. We're all, no matter where we are in the country, no matter what groups we're in, what counties we're in, we're all against the exact same thing: the plantation, the indoctrination, everything. And people are going to have differences because we all have different personalities and personality flaws. You shrug that off. There's bigger things going on that are more worth the cause.
There absolutely is, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to get everybody to convey the energy into a tailored message for whatever we're attacking at that minute. And I don't mean attacking as in violence or anything. I mean with whatever we're trying to highlight, but not only that, but with a solution to whatever issues that are there. With a solution to us even being on the streets protesting. Something has got to give. We can't be waiting for another 4 years, another 2 years. So what we need to do is we need to try change the behaviour of people rather than the mindset, and start getting them to, even if they're pissed off, to start opening their mouth and talking on the issue and start demanding resolutions to it. There's many ways to skin a cat. Rosslare Port is one of them. There's plenty after that can be done on a smaller scale, that can be done individually as well, that will make impact. And we hope that we can get people together to move forward. As I said, it's not me, it's not you, Anthony, it's not Paul, it's every one of us. We all have the same goals. Yeah. We all have the same goals, and it's just about putting the right minds together to tailor that message, tailor the objective, and have a success. Because running around like a headless chicken, I mean, we've gathered whatever support we're going to gather. It's about now putting our words into action. We need to do that.
Yeah, it's a good point, Derek. Like at this stage, how many, like we've told the people already. Yeah, so you can't keep trying to convince people 3 or 4 years on. The people who are awake to it, like someone put a comment on Instagram today, saying, it's a shame. When will the real Irishmen wake up? And I said, unfortunately, the real Irishmen have woken up. There's just not as many as we thought. And I think that's the truth. With they've all heard, they all know the information at this stage. They can't hide from it. So they have
to know. They have to know, and it's RTE that's dumbing them down. And like, this is what we're here for. Like, we've a couple of hundred, we've about 600 now on this now, and this is getting it out. This will be shared again tomorrow, and it's great that we're getting this out. The sort of way. But like RTE, like, my other half is sitting inside there watching the 9 o'clock news. Bullshit. You know what I mean? My dad's probably watching it. My dad's probably watching it. And I go over the house and say, oh, that Trump is a bastard, isn't he? Why is he a bastard? Oh, he did this and he did that. I said, will you stop watching the bleeding news? Like, seriously, it's not happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I was with my mother earlier on, and she's 80 years of age. She was sitting down watching Fair City, and this is the same woman that thinks exactly like me and has attended protests with me. And I said, what are you doing watching RTE? They're stuck in that. No matter even if they're awake or they're not. That's now a way of life. You're asking people to change their way of life like that they've been doing for so long. It's nigh on impossible. So what we'd rather do is try and change the behavioural aspect of people, and especially yourselves. So, I mean, that comes with changing in how we work and how we protest and how we deliver our message out there. And for anyone thinking that we're dampening down a message, we're absolutely not. What we're doing is we're clearing that message and we're putting it together, that everybody is standing behind it, that we can all go as one national movement. Whether people want to be part of that or not, that's their decision. We have the door open, as I said, because there is no leaders. If you want to be part of it, come, give your opinion, give your piece, and be part of it.
Well, that's exactly what this new party is going to be, isn't it, Anthony? We're going to have a 12 on an AC, and everything goes through the AC. There's no leaders. There's no, okay, we'll have to have a president and we'll have to have this, but there'll be no dictatorship here. You know what I mean? It'll go to the group, and if it gets voted 7-5, then it goes through. If it gets, it needs to be voted on. We all need to agree.
It is an important part. I know a lot of people would say, look, politics is dead. Like, there's corruption in the voting system in this country, 100%. And that won't sit right with me unless we can rally enough support and bang that drum, because otherwise, Irish people don't have a democracy, and that's what a lot of people died for years ago. So we need to get on to those who say they're representative of us. Yeah, we're going to launch a political party. It's not going to be filled with ego. We've seen what has happened in the past and why we've fallen. So it needs to welcome everybody who is the same with the cause. That's only one side of this. Look, we have to have a multi-pronged approach here, and getting down to Rosslare, getting out to these places is the other side of it. So I think we've started out, we've reacted to what was going on. Now we have time to gather ourselves. We know who's who. We know where we're good. We know we have a better game plan. So we need to attack it a bit
Okay,
better,
like
intelligently.
it's about binding it all together. So the way we were talking about it was four aspects where we're looking at the justification, the legality of things that the government are doing, the legality of even ourselves of what we're doing, justification on that end. We're looking at the media aspect of how the message can get out in a uniformed manner across all platforms at the same time, with the message in it. We're also looking at the activists, the people that are taking to the streets, and we're also then looking at the politics and the way we see politics. Like I did run in local elections. I don't see myself as a politician. I was never going in there to dictate anything. To be honest, if I had getting elected into local council, I would have been thrown out the following day because I was only going in there to tear it apart, and that was it.
Yeah.
I wasn't going in there for anything else. I was going in to ask for a look at the books. If I wasn't getting the books, I was causing blue murder. I didn't get in there. My focus is on my country, and I know that everyone else, because of the political aspects, the things that fell through or whatever, they were downhearted. But we're not looking for votes anymore. We're not looking to get anyone votes. What we're looking now for from any politicians or any potential politician is their support. So when we're doing what we're doing, we're looking for those people to fight our corner politically in the chambers, whether that's putting through motions, whether that's backing up what we're doing on the street, or whether it's opening talking points because they'll have the talking time, and that's what our goal is. So for
And a big
future,
part of that, Eric, as well. Sorry to cut you off. Is having the media, like you're on here today, having our own media. Like there's a lot of people in the comments there talking about news talk, and I was scurrying around the stations earlier on, sitting in the car, like, wow, every single one of them. Like we need to have people. It would help people's morale who are wide awake to this stuff that they could actually have a radio station to listen to, or to have shows and podcasts to listen to, where it's not the usual narrative that everyone is falling into. We need to build our own communities, like James Conway's doing with growing the herbs, and like we were doing Shinadina with the workshops, and just start having our own social clubs and our own events, and aspiring a bit of patriotism again.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we're trying to survive the Irish culture, and the only way to do that is to make it live on and to bring it out stronger than what we're seeing it from the government or the powers that be. And that's exactly what we're all about here. It's not just about taking to the streets and protesting. It's about being in communities. You see the lads in Limerick, they're out there with the homeless every night. You see Fergus Power and the lads are out as well delivering coal. I mean, even down here in Waterford, it mightn't be spoken about much, but we've had instances down here where we've shut down a pub. We've got a greedy landlord out who was in a pub down here that kicked out our workers, brought in Ukrainians. We shut the pub down. He's gone out of our town. He's not getting any more money. We've had issues where single mothers are at risk down here. Only tonight I was speaking to a woman. They're being constantly harassed by a man. We've ended up being able to get security on the building that they're in, new codes, the whole lot. So, I mean, there's a lot to be said working locally, which everybody does, and that's why we're trying to build this alliance, and we're trying to build it in a manner that we're all nationally together, and that if the support networks are there, then we can then get out locally. And like I heard Off Grid on a space earlier on, I mean, if they had a little bit of probably more thought about getting out with the coal and stuff, they would have been there on the day.
Yeah.
It took them a day or two to get there. So in the future, like, to try get support networks in place that if something happens, that we have that and we can go, well, look, here, these lads are available and they can go straight away. Because we all have kids, jobs.
Fair play to them, I have to say.
Absolutely.
Like we're 2 weeks in now and there's people still without power. It's and here we are. They move migrants from one place that has no power to a 4-star hotel in Dublin. And our own people, like people who fought for this country, who have worked all their lives, pensioners, are left without coal, and it's just horrific, like, and this green agenda shite as well. you've no fireplace in your house anymore because of this green new agenda. They want you stopping your peat. You know what I mean? Like I'd be down in Achill and they cut their turf every year, and you drive down and you bag it and you turn it and boy Jesus, it's the best fire you'll ever have in your life, sitting in front of a coal fire with your feet up on a cup of tea. I'm telling you now, it's brilliant.
Look, that's that. For me, it goes way back. Like I'm only 34, but I've been awake a long time to the stuff that's going on, you know, and it's I wasn't a smoker, obviously the smoking ban, but it was only obvious why it was brought in at the time. My father was a smoker, into the pub, sing-song, chats at the bar, they completely killed it, you know, and it's continuation, kill the community. And they've essentially done it in Ireland. Because if you go out your door now and you're looking around, and it's not even about the influx of foreign immigrants, it's the fact that they place these foreign immigrants into local areas that were predominantly Irish, that had close-knit communities. They now don't have that. You know, they've spread those people, forced them out of them homes.
Well, I was born in Sheriff Street. I'm from Sheriff Street originally, and we used to leave our doors open. You know what I mean? And then when I moved out, I moved to Ballymun, and then we moved to Kilbarrack or Donamead, where I grew up. Like, we were in and out of the houses. We knew everybody that lived on the road. When I drive down that road now, my sister still lives there, and like, there's a lot of people gone. There's a lot. Now, I know people get old and people die, but when I was growing up, if they died, their family took over the house, and that's the way it was. Now it's not happening that way. They're taking the houses off these people, putting them into 1-bedroom flats, and giving these 3- and 4-bedroom houses to foreigners. And that's just the simple facts of it. You know, it's disgraceful. Like, you know,
there's a case down here with Roma gypsies. So it actually made the news. So they were in a house in a pretty new build of a house, and the male that was in the house decided that he was going to burn the house down, supposedly to kill his kids that were in the house. But realistically, that wasn't what it was at all. He ended up getting 2.5 years in jail. But the story actually turns out, which is not reported on the papers, the house was full of rubbish. The neighbours had complained about the house being full of rubbish, and they were getting council orders to clear the rubbish. They didn't do it. They burnt the house down. So what they done is then the family got moved. He got 2.5 years in jail, and they actually went back and vandalised the neighbours' cars that were after being put in the complaints about them. They ended up walking into a house just around the corner from me that €280,000 was put into.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
It's absolute. The house was bought from someone that was moving out of the country. The council bought the house. He was after putting 280,000 quid into this house, and they gave it to a group of Roma gypsies. There's about 17 of them living there now. You know.
Wow. I'm going to go with a video here. Okay, I'm just going to go with a video here with did we go with the Nick Fake Empire one? We went with that already, didn't we? Sorry.
No, we didn't. You were just showing it to me before.
Oh, was it? Okay. I tell you what I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with the mass immigration from the third world. Okay.
Just real quick, Paul, before you go with it. I think there's a Dennis Carr in the chat there. Casey, you'd said it in a second. You know you
Who's
would.
Dennis Carr?
I don't know who it is, but I have to say that person obviously doesn't know my family, what I stood for, because he's alone in that way of thinking. I'd love to see his justification for that. A lot of people do message me and they do say stuff without their faces on profiles and all this kind of thing. I'm happy to sit down with anybody and meet up with them and have a chat with them who has a disagreement with me. But people talking nonsense. I wasn't going to let it hide in the comments, so put it up.
I seen it there myself, and I thought, hey, I'll let you address that. Like, you know what I mean? Usually it's must have a shy, you know, him coming in and talking bollocks, like, you know what I mean? But listen, these people, listen, if you haven't got your face to your profile, don't bother even talking to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, my face has been out there since day one.
Casey.
Anytime,
like,
Casey.
You know what? Yeah, look, I'm not hard to find. He's coming through my YouTube page to watch, you know, the podcast we're putting through. So
yeah. So if he doesn't want to be here, fuck off. You know, just click and X.
I do wonder how much he's put into this over the last few years, like we have. Anyway, go ahead, Paul.
We've all put in. Listen, Eric is there. I know Eric a long time from protests. So he's been protesting here the last 4 years. Like, you know what I mean? And like you, Anthony, I only met you last year, and we joined the party. I got you to join the party, the whole lot. But there's a lot of people. Like, I was at a meeting last Saturday week with Eric, and the people that were there have been there from the start. You know, all good people, and people who are there for the cause. You know what I mean? There's a few. I can only say gobshites who are trying to get in.
I always put it this way. So I've had the same things thrown at me, Anthony, where, you're this, your ego, this, that. I had a job. I was getting €700 a week, comfortable and cushy job. In it for 4 or 5 years, no problem. And then I decided to put my face out there and ended up losing my job. And in turn, my kids lose food on the table. I still don't have a job. I went into another one, person put a complaint against me and was back out of it for being a so-called racist. But yet I'm still here. Yet I'll still make my way around the country. Like you will, you'll put your face there. There's a lot of people that's not their game. Their game is troll online, you know, get the clicks, get the like, create a bit of drama and live off it. You know, I don't care for that.
And look,
people want drama. If people want drama, I would give it. I give it to them, yeah. But at the end of the day, this is the hill I'll die on. And if they really want to take me off the hill, they're going to have to come up on top of the hill with me, man. And we'll see where we end up then.
Yeah, look at the Shane James. Look, coming up to back me, Uncle Man Shane, and Lorraine. But anyway, I know what a cuddy. Look, he's obviously you can invite me. Usually I don't. You know me, Paul. Usually I don't. You know, even react to any stuff. You see Dennis, us every week.
Does Dennis want to come up here in the chat? Does Dennis want to come up and talk to us? Because I'll send Dennis the link here if he wants to. You know what I mean? That's no problem. Put your face out there, Dennis.
Anyway, we won't make the whole thing about him. No. You know yourself, Paul. Like, we often have 1,400 people that listen on the Irish Column Live, and you see them all coming in and out. I usually don't. I wanted to call him out to see if he had a reason, an actual verified reason, but clearly not. You're going to get a lot of these people when you're in the movement doing stuff. But of course, yeah. Anyway, yeah. Look, let's go with Nick Delahunty then.
We'll go with Nick Delahunty then. Okay, yeah. The fake empire. Okay, we'll go with this.
Okay, so this is what a fake empire looks like. Every one of these buildings and many more are owned and controlled by just one man who's making tens of millions of euros off the taxpayer to provide emergency accommodation. In the past 2 years, CRM Properties has been paid 30 million euros by the Department of Children. That's over 250k a week. In 2018, this man here, Donald O'Brien, was a struggling small business owner. He ran Apache pizzas and fish and chip shops around Limerick and Cork. Glamorous and highly profitable, this was not. I would have to guess that the final straw for him packing in this business was this court case where he was hauled in front of a judge for opening his business in the wrong hours. Like, the government make it so difficult to be a small business owner. So in 2020, during the depths of COVID, O'Brien decided to go for broke and get into the property business. He set up a rake of companies from CRM to OBF Properties, BCOB Properties and MRC Construction. Over the next year or two, he would take out loans to buy all of these apartments. And these, and all these, and all of these, and many, many more that are all listed online. So how is he able to afford all these homes? Like, getting a mortgage is pretty difficult. Well, the answer is leverage. O'Brien used what's known as shadow banks lenders to fund his fake empire. These shadow banks are pretty notorious. O'Brien has loans of over 20 to 30 million euros from one company called Realm Finance and other non-bank lenders. But these loans are easily paid off thanks to lucrative contracts from the state, which is you. The Department of Children is funded by you, the taxpayer. It's important to emphasize that nothing here is illegal, but from a national policy perspective, it is just crazy. Amidst the housing crisis, the fact that one individual can build a portfolio of homes of over 100 properties using loans from less regulated shadow banks purely to house economic migrants through guaranteed rental payments from the state is just bonkers. Interesting thing about this case is that Donald O'Brien isn't a multi-billion-dollar fund or even a hotel owner. He's just an entrepreneur doing now what the government has effectively told him to do. Like, show me the incentive and I will show you the outcome. I'll admit, the temptation for any small business owner to just throw in the towel and get on the asylum system gravy train is very strong. Like, it's not complicated to do. In fact, it's a lot more straightforward to running most actual businesses, but I couldn't do it. Doing this at an industrial scale for obscene profits on the back of the taxpayer is just wrong. At some point, the asylum system bubble will burst in this country. Until then, though, I'm just going to continue paying my extortionate taxes in 2025 to fund O'Brien's fake empire.
Wow. Jesus Christ. One man, 100 properties. Jesus Christ.
One man and multiple brown takes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, you know, I have to say, Nick, fair play to Nick Delahunty. He's doing great work there. He really is.
Yeah.
He's brilliant. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
People,
Nick's great. He calls it out as it is.
if Nick's
Excellent.
work was to be on RT or anything, lads, it'd be a different. You'd have a different conversation, I think, behind some people's tables.
Well, you know, Eric, he reached a lot of people, a lot more people that a lot of us could. And that's kind of the approach you might need to take with some of the media, some of the politics, and some of everything. You know, good, strong policy, but maybe putting the likes of him out as your candidates, and you know, trying to scoop up a few of the voters. Like he does the research. In fairness to him,
That's what we were touching on with the four aspects of what we're trying to do, bringing everybody together. That people have the knowledge, and it's about putting all of the knowledge together and clearing that message up, so we can we can design it in a way that it's going to hit those people. You know, that we don't have to be rash about it all the time, but we can hit people with solid facts, and we can do it in a nice, easy, respectful tone. These people might listen, and even if they don't listen, we're still going to be working on the streets. So it's about highlighting it, but it's about putting our words into action. There's no point in us asking people to do stuff while we sit at home or whatever else. We want stuff done. We need to highlight it. We need to be out on the streets, and we need to be putting those words into action. And for anyone that's apprehensive about even going to Rosslare, it's not violence. So
No.
what we're talking about is in no way, shape, or form any physicality whatsoever. What it is solidarity with standing with people that are going to stand their ground, that know that they're justified in what they're doing, and that are not going to let up on it. Now, we don't have to go and look for confrontation to do what we're doing. We want to get out our message. We want people to listen to our message, and we want people to listen to our solutions. You know, and the best way to do that is to clear it up and put it out in an organized fashion. You know, that people are going to get that message and not get it mixed up with somebody video recording somebody doing something stupid or something and putting that on the front page. I'm not blaming any people for being put on the front page, but I'm also saying don't give an excuse to these people to let you do that.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
my mindset is also, I've been at an awful lot of protests. The videos that come out after those protests are always based on what people call our opposition, the far left. They're our opposition, but what you're doing is you're conveying their message, and their message got lost. And that was proven in the past number of years. You know, more of their message was getting out by us than our message was, because people had their cameras on it. We don't want that. We won't be. You won't see myself outside of the GPO or Custom House standing next to a podium, because it's given the room for that to happen. Where you'll see most of us is where we need to be. You know, and we'll.
it's important. It's important to say, Eric, as well. Yeah, because it is. There's people fall prey to that a little bit as well. You know, I'm a big advocate. Like, I haven't once stood up on a podium and spoke, and it's not because I think a lot of speeches went down well over the last couple of years when it was time to gather people together. I think now we're kind of nearly passing that whole era of things. We know, like you said, we know who's who. We know who's aligned with us now. I prefer, to be honest, even in terms of videos and stuff like that, Paul. You know, even when we're talking about it, not to put anything out for the sake of it, not to waste my breath on it.
Exactly.
But we need to put out what like you're saying there, Eric. And I'm glad to hear that everyone's on the same page, where we're all bringing people together. We're all putting it out in a more professional. We're all using each other's expertise. It's exactly how we wanted the new party to run. It's exactly how we wanted Sinn Féin to run. It's exactly. I'm glad to hear that, you know, and I'm part of that group supporting your own as well, Eric. It's great to hear Conway's doing the same thing. Everyone's in the same boat now. So we know we have our game plan 2025, and it's good that we're not falling asunder. And it's important for people to hear that, because a lot of people are sitting back and they're very disillusioned and upset about the way things are at the moment. They're burnt out, but you know, things are only growing and they're getting stronger. So
I read a piece that was put out by I think it was breakingnews.ie 2-3 weeks ago, and I think it was to do with a TikToker that was making petrol bombs or whatever live and showing people how to make these petrol bombers, and they were pertaining to the far right or whatever else. But in the article, they were mentioning that one of their biggest concerns is groups unifying because they see it as a security threat. realistically, they see it as a threat on the longevity of what they're doing. Because the more unified we become, the more organized we become. That's where the sound heads start rising out of it, and these are the people that can put a political agenda together. People that have the legality behind them, like we already see that in the courts, and they are scared. If we get all of these people together and we make one mind out of all of the minds, I mean that's detrimental to them. They don't want that. That's what they try to break up.
It is 100%, and I've seen people are asking there about the manifestos of. I only said it was late last week that I was launching a political party. Now it's been in the works for weeks, but my whole idea of that was going across the whole movement. Who are teachers? Who are nurses? Who are our doctors? Who are our barristers and solicitors? Let's get all these people in the room together. We have plenty of expertise, and let's put that out as the political front, right? And let's now switch to, is the system corrupt? Do we need to tackle the Senate? Do we need to tackle the presidency? That's all on the front and centre element of things. But in the background, we'll be keeping an eye on these things, and we'll be uncovering who the traitors are, and we'll be showing up like the Irish should, and we'll be throwing down our banners. People get too into groupthink sometimes, and this is what this says no stands for, and our group stands for, and we don't talk to that other crowd, and they said this thing last time, and they took the mic off me. Nonsense. Oh, bullshit. We're all here for our kids, and we need to be coming together on every aspect. Like, they're attacking on all these prongs, so we need to retaliate. And retaliate's not even the way. We shouldn't even be reacting anymore. We should be moving first.
We should be proactively looking at where we know where the problems are, but now we should be proactively looking for solutions to those problems and highlighting that we have those solutions, and continue highlighting it until the solutions are brought to the forefront.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Because we know what way they're rolling this out. They roll out Clonmel the same way as they did in Athlone, the same way they did in Dundrum Townhouse. They have their model. So, yeah, we need to. Well, it's good. We are coming together, so we know exactly the way it's all going. So I know it's great.
I've seen it, like, from being part of it for so long, like, where it was together and fragmented, and it kind of goes in and out. But for me, it feels a lot different, where there's a real element of seriousness gone behind it, especially after the disappointment of the elections. That people realise that it needs to be action. It needs to be words into action. That we can't rely on somebody else to do it for us. That it's going to be a grassroots element that will eventually have the momentum to hopefully take us beyond where we think we're going to go.
Yeah, it needs to be robust. I think what that election showed us is that the system's corrupt. That's what I think it showed us. Not one person got in. Not one person hit a quota. It's I've seen evidence of, and I said this the other day, of the ballot boxes, numbers being X'd out. Paul, you've seen it. A lot of people have seen it. The guards are no longer, since Helen McEntee took over a few years ago, they don't police the ballot, the polling stations anymore. So what it showed us is that not only are we all complicit, but the whole system is corrupt against you. But we can't leave that aside. We have to tackle that as well. We need to tackle all these things, and maybe we can disperse people out different directions who have the expertise in different fields, and let them at it. Maybe it's on Bunrock, and maybe it's putting forward, scooping up the Middle Ireland votes, whatever it is. I think it's already being done. So as they bring on the year,
I think, to be honest, with the approach we're trying to take, that we can possibly, rather than we're looking for people to be voted in, I think we can push for particular referenda on certain areas that we're looking at. Because I mean, if you just look at the migration pact for one, I mean, that's something that didn't really get as much of a challenge as it should have got, and there's still time to challenge that. People think it's done, but it's not. Like, if we get enough people on our side, well, we can certainly change that. We proved that referenda can work with the no vote. That overwhelmingly destroyed the government on that, and there was an active and heavy campaign into that no, and it resulted in what we got. I mean, if you look at that campaign into that no vote, It was a little bit different to the immigration message, and it was a lot clearer and cleaner, and it caught on, you know. And just look at the results of it. So it's a similar
Yeah, it's
sort of.
interesting. It's interesting you brought that up, because I was to myself, I was wondering what did happen there. Like, did they misjudge everything, or were they given the falseness of democracy before they roll out the complete? You know what I mean? Like, you know the way some people think that the Trump thing, is it too good to be true? Is it skin deep? And is Elon going to do this, that, and the other? You know, did they let us have a couple of votes to show that, oh, look, you do have, you know, sure, you do have democracy. Remember the no thing. But possibly what Eric's saying as well, that there was a good campaign behind it. So maybe that's all you need. Maybe it was too big to rig, kind of like the Trump thing, you know. The illusion of democracy, you know, Shane saying there, yeah, maybe they were kind of saying, look, there is democracy. There's, you know, you got that referendum through. I don't know. We're only speculating here, but it is a corrupt system. That for sure I know. So and we've seen Maddie McGrath and Carol Nolan have a little bit showed their hand that they're not exactly who they said they were. Yeah. And I think that has to be made public. When we get the word of this politics going out, I'll be making it public in videos and on calling them out on hashtags or at, you know, mention their names online, that this is what's going on. I'm going to meet them physically and say, these are all the people and all the votes and all the evidence I have of what went on. Are you here to tell me that you can't call this out in the all, that the Irish people have no democracy in this country? That has to be banged from the rooftops, that we need a new voting system in this country. Like, look at the way the America did it. You could see nearly in real time who was voting where, or whatever way it was. Yeah, yeah. At this day and age, 2025, you know, they're projecting fucking things into the skies and whatever they're doing. Certainly they can come up with a better system. Anyway.
Yeah. I tell you where I'm gonna go with one more video. Okay, this is just you bring in the third world, you know what I mean? And we'll just go with this. I remember once upon a time, I went off there before I seen it. I remember it's just an illusion of it. Now governments want back little, always have been. Yeah. This is just a little video of what's actually in the country at the minute. So we'll go with that and come back, and we'll finish up shortly, because we said we'd do an hour, but listen, it was only a pop-up show tonight. We'll be here again towards the night at 9 o'clock, so we'll do that. So we're just going to play this video here now. Carta! No.
Yo! Hello? Fucking hell, guys. So this guy left him alone anyway.
Look at this now, cunt. Outside the church. Imagine any girl or child. Any girl or child walking down here. Where's down outside the church? Look at this. Fuck's sake. Be dead or alive? Huh?
No more fucking right now! We are the black.
Stand up, come on.
I will shut your fucking mouth. I'll tell you that I'm a doctor in Mata Hospital. I'll close your fucking dead mouth. As an idiot that you are.
I'm going straight to the guards.
You're a fucking asshole. You're a piece of shit.
I'm a doctor in the Mater Hospital. Wow. You know, it beggars belief, like, you know what I mean? It really does. That's only the tip of the iceberg. Like, this is happening in every town in this country. Like, Cork town is riddled with it. Rosslare is going to be riddled with it. You've Dundrum riddled with it. You've Arklow. It's everywhere. It's rampant. And this government don't give a shit. They're sitting in their ivory tower. They're not getting touched. Maybe it should be brought to their doors. Listen, I think it should be. You know, I really do. You know, not the shouting and the roaring and all that, but people need to be, you know, need to see what's going on. Like, you know what I mean? It's gone ridiculous. Like,
I have to jump off it and leave you finish up. But what I'd say is maybe not their doorstep on the house, but I tell you, what we need to do is we need to look at our government buildings where these people go to work and where they implement all this. And rather than having a chat or anything outside, we can do other things that are within the law that can seriously put pressure on them, and with a particular people that are sitting on particular benches within this country and putting out I can't say too much more, but let's just say that we get people on board with what we're doing here, and there will be impacts made, you know. And the next time I'm on here, I'll bring you something to show you the state of this country. So especially with the media, I have evidence down here in Waterford of a cover up of a sexual assault within an immigrant centre that the local media attended, that they knew what was going on, and I have the admittance from them that they never reported on that due to being sued or the fear of being sued. So that's Garda media that covered up that in this town here and verified that I've tried to get out. It hasn't gone out, but this is happening across the country, not just Waterford. It's everywhere.
Yeah, well, try to get on maybe Sunday to us, Eric, if you can, to the Irish column even. If you'd be ready for that. We could
look, I'll prepare. I'll get Paul or yourself the video of what was done, the recording, and you can vet it yourselves first off. And
if you send me the link, Eric, and I can pull it down and we can have it here. As I said, we'll be going again Thursday night from 9 till whatever 10, half 10. But Eric, thanks very much for coming on tonight. Fair play to you. I'll be talking to you soon, and I'll talk to you during the week.
Absolutely,
thanks, Eric.
No worries.
Thanks very much, mate. Cheers, thanks, Eric. Cheers, bud.
Thanks a lot.
Fair play to Eric coming on. We'll finish it up now in a few minutes because I just have I've another video there, right, that I just want to talk about vaccines. It's not about vaccines, but it's about the WHO, okay, and Tedros whatever his bleeding name is, yum. So now I'll tell you what I'm going to go with first, right? There's a guy from Australia said he doesn't want his country to be a white South Africa. Just listen to this, man. It's only a minute and a half.
White people deserve a home. There's 1.4 billion Chinamen, there's 1.4 billion Indians, there's 1 billion Africans, there's 1 billion Arabs, and they've all got their own countries. Now if there was a white country on earth, I don't want to leave Australia, but if you said to me, Tom, why don't you go live in Poland or Lithuania or Latvia or whatever, I would say, look, it's tempting, but I love Australia. It is tempting because I don't like what's happening to this country. I think white people deserve a home collectively. They have a home. We don't have one. We're being told that Australia is for everyone, and if it's for everyone, then it's for no one. That's my position. And second to that, collectively, is individually. I individually cannot afford a home. My father bought a home on 3 years' wages. I could not even buy a 200 square meter block of dirt in Tarneet for 3 years' wages. So because of the conditions the government has put our generation through, I and the people younger than me are getting locked out of the market. And when we do afford a home, I take my child to the playground, Sam. And every single other child at the playground is speaking a foreign language to their parents. My child is the only child at the playground that's speaking English. And I'm surrounded by people that are being told, oh, this is a great multicultural diversity. And it just means less white people, less white culture. And ultimately, we're going to turn into global South Africa. And I will fight to stop that from happening, Sam. I don't want us to turn into South Africa. I had family in Rhodesia. I had family in South Africa. I'm not letting it happen here. And so I'm trying with all my might to be peaceful and reasonable and political. But we have to protect white Australia. We have to.
And that goes for, we have to protect Ireland too. Everything he says there, I agree with. Everything. You know, we had Susan Delaney we done a video with Susie, who got great traction from Elon Musk, Candace Owens. That's what we need. We need to be getting a reach out from Ireland. You know what I mean? She got nearly 50 odd million views on that video. You know, and she said the same. Like, she's in the classroom and her child is the only Irish child in the classroom. Now, it's not that bad at my kid's school at the minute, but it's looking that way. You know what I mean? It really is. Like, you know what I mean? It's really gone bad. You know what I mean? From 5 years ago. You know, from 5 years ago, my kids, when they started school, they were nearly all Irish kids that were in the class. Now they're not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've Romanians, you've Polish. Now, listen, I've nothing against people coming here, working and doing whatever and trying to make a better life for themselves. But Ireland is full at the moment. We cannot take any more, especially with the way they're giving houses out hand over fist to these people coming into the country, not even in the country a year, and they're getting houses and apartments. And their own people, 15,000 of them, 5,000 nearly kids, are on the streets. That's without the 200,000 that's sleeping on sofas. And, you know, it's gone. Look, Ireland is gone unless we stop it, unless people help us to stop it. And that's what we need, is help.
Yeah, you did right, yeah. 100%, Paul.
Are we any more? I've one more video there. Are you going to drop off, Anthony? Do you want to, or do you want to wait for this video?
Yeah.
Or
look, yeah, I did the last video there, sure. And
we'll do Ted Ross's video, and then Paddy's Day. What were you saying about Paddy's Day? The bomb threat, is it?
Yeah, that's important actually to say about Interpol. Yeah, that's only 15 seconds or something like that.
Yeah,
So play that there.
Yeah,
it's only gripped.
Yeah.
Monuments put front pen to paper, turns me into a godless wonder. And if you tolerate this, then
It's not a video, but it's
gripped,
talking about Interpol and the threat they're getting about the threats to bomb. Like, you can't even have her on Patrick's Day now. You know what I mean?
Anthony, I said this about 5 years ago. I stopped bringing the kids into the Patrick's Day parade. I stopped it, and I said I'd never do it again because it's right. It would be. They could very easily do something. There's 100,000 people in town. Bang. You know what I mean? And kids. This is what they go for. They go for kids because, you know, kids are our future. You know what I mean? This is what they do, you know. And
they do Christmas markets and all. You see it with the Christmas markets. There's a whole other side of this as well, is that someone said as well, of course, maybe even Interpol, you never even know who might even stage something like that. You know what I mean? But but certainly these people are here and they're not happy about Christianity and they're going to try and destroy it. So that can't be. You know, like, crazy. You know, this is gone too far for the. It's sickening even talking about it, Paul.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. It's fucking horrible. But it's something that needs to be spoke about because it could very easily happen. Like, we don't know. Like, honestly, there was 10,000. They reckon they had 10,000 Palestinians and all of them marching there a couple of months ago. If they turned on the police, it's like that's it, lights out. The police will not be able to control them. The army won't even be able to control them. You know, we have 6,000 in the army. What sort of, you know, come on.
But you know what it is, Paul? It's not just that they're trying to hurt these people or these Christians or whatever. They're trying to deter people from doing this. They want to make sure everyone's too afraid to have Christmas markets. You know, they want to make sure that people are afraid in their own country to have their own parades. That's the worry, because they, you know, and I could see that again. Yeah, look, I do not go to any Christmas markets on the street. See, this is the thing, you know, that's what they're gearing at. They don't want you
people
practicing
living in fear.
your culture. Yeah. And if the guards can't protect us, then maybe other organisations can.
Yeah, exactly. Protect yourself. You know what I mean? I've seen lads out on the street walking down the boardwalk, the whole lot, Tinker and Paul Nolan and the lads, and they're bringing it into town and they're stopping these fuckers taking drugs on the boardwalk. They're stopping them harassing the kids. And like, there's guys 30 and 35 years of age talking to 13 and 14-year-old kids on that boardwalk. You know, hello, would you like to come home with me? You can be my wife. And no, that's why I don't let my kids out without me being with them. You know what I mean? And you're trying to give the kids a bit of independence. And like, you can't now because you don't know who's living in the area. You don't know. And that's just it, you know?
Yeah.
But, it's crazy.
Right, Paul, I'm going to jump off unless you have another video or you want to shoot it down.
I have
or do
the
you
video
another-
with Tether us just 3 minutes if you want, and we'll finish up then on that one. This is
Yeah,
the guy
sounds
who
good.
runs the WHO, right? So we'll just go with this.
The World Health Organization is the institution granted exclusive power to guide and protect the health and wellness of humanity. The WHO is sustained by private donations, the bulk of which are made by pharmaceutical and biotech corporations who have a vested financial interest in the organization's support. In 2017, the Associated Press reported that the WHO routinely spends about $200 million a year on travel expenses, more than what it spends to fight some of the biggest problems in public health, including AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria combined. The WHO's repeated issuing of inaccurate and bad advice is not merely the result of incompetence, but rather the direct result of the Communist Party of China deliberately buying out WHO's leadership.
On the nomination of the Executive Board, appoints Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus as Director General of the World Health Organization.
Tedros Ghebreyesus is the World Health Organization's first Director General that isn't a medical doctor.
No Tedros for WHO! No Tedros for WHO!
The appointment to the organization's highest position was controversial, given that in his previous role as Ethiopia's health minister, Tedros was accused of covering up 3 major health epidemics.
Tedros is no stranger to controversy. As a former Minister of Health in Ethiopia, he has been accused of an alleged cover-up of 3 possible cholera epidemics.
Prior to his appointment, Tedros was a high-ranking member of the Tigray People's Liberation Front, a brutal and corrupt political group responsible for crimes against humanity, including bombings, kidnappings, tortures, and killings. How does a man with such a controversial past score the top position at the world's most influential health organization?
I have known Bill and Melinda for many, many years now.
While serving as Ethiopia's health minister, Tedros became intimately intertwined with both the Gates Foundation and the Clinton Foundation.
The health minister of Ethiopia, one of the ablest public servants I ever worked with.
With the backing of the 2 most powerful foundations on earth and the full support of the Communist Party of China, Tedros was a shoo-in.
We will have many body bags in front of us if we don't behave.
Yeah, that's the guy who's running the WHO. That's the guy who's pushing vaccines, and like again, he covered up 3 malaria outbreaks in his own country. He's done bombings with the Tigray Liberation people. And listen, how he got into that position.
When you look at Klaus Schwab and his father making the guns for the Nazis, now, like it's and Bill Gates. That's run by the Bill and Gates, Melinda Gates. That's who the biggest funders are for that.
Yeah,
and the UN have written in all their policies in.
Well, Trump has taken them out of it. We should all take out of it. Yeah. Trump has dropped the WHO and the Paris Climate Agreement, which is more bollocks.
Yeah,
climate hoax. You know what I mean? Listen, we all know. Okay, we have to look after the planet, but come on, this scaremongering is getting us nowhere. Like, you know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
It's making people not want to look after the planet. That's what's making it. You know, people are like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm not gonna recycle. You know, that's what people are like now. They're going the opposite way.
It's all about money, Anthony. That's all it is. If you remember back 5 or 6 years ago when all this recycling kicked off, it was all free. Now you have to pay for weight. Now you have to. It's you have 3 bins there now, and you're paying for. You used to pay for none of them. Then you paid for 1. Then you paid for 2, and I think they're bringing the brown bin in now that you have to pay for that as well. So that's 3 bins. Plus you have to pay the yearly whatever it is just to have the bins. You know, so come on.
Yeah,
you know, it's ridiculous.
And by the way, that pandemic series is very good. I remember watching him over the last little while.
Brilliant.
Very
Who,
good.
Del Bigtree, is it?
Whoever that guy is who does it.
Yeah.
It's class.
Yeah,
it's worth a look up on Rumble or something like that. It's the pandemic series. It's class.
Pandemic.
Really
I think they're on number 3 now at the minute.
Addy, if the first one, even the start of it will hook you in straight away. He's a deadly. He's really good at what he's doing. But
Right, well then I think we'll finish her up then for this evening. I'll drop you down and I'll finish her up there. I'll just stick me. I might as well stick me line in there now at the minute because I tell the truth here as well. So yeah. So I'll drop you down. I'll talk to you in a minute.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you in a minute. All right. So yeah, I'm just gonna go through another couple of comments there. USAID paid millions to the Clinton Foundation. Yes. Surely not that on Bridget's Day, January 8th. Have the bins. She has 4 bins. Jesus Christ. Thanks a million, guys. Great live stream. Fair play. You're open. Contact us if you want to send us on some of that stuff you were talking about earlier. Thanks, Anthony, Paul, and everyone. Yeah, well done. Fair play. Another great show, lads. Thank you, Trish. Fair play to you, Trish. And as I say, again, you'll see us on Thursday night. We'll be back on Thursday night at 9. Because we're going to do 2 shows a week. Now, we're going to do 3 shows. We're going to do Sunday, the Irish column, as you can see in the right-hand corner. The Irish column, we're going to do Ireland Live then on a Tuesday at 9 and a Thursday at 9. Because there's too much stuff to be talking about, you know what I mean, that we can't, that we need to talk about. You know what I mean? We can't be waiting and banging it all into a 2-hour show on a Sunday night, you know what I mean? So, fair play. Thank you, Lorraine. Great show, lads. Fair play. Yeah, great show, lads. Blah, blah. Well done, everyone. Brilliant. So, as I say, every night I'm on. The truth is like a lion. You don't have to defend it. You just let it loose and it will defend itself. Good night and God bless.